In a world where news flies around every minute, you need the ability to relate and connect with what matters and stay up to date. Schengen Story Media News Echoes program is Africans in Diaspora and at Home's leading English news network, one of the most trusted, respected sources for news updates on current affairs as they affect global Africa. Elevate your new week, fuel your success. SSM invites you to kickstart each weekday with our news update Between the Lines, featuring the week's top news and analysis and the most attention-grabbing lines, deciphering world events. Hook up to SSM Monday program Between the Lines.
And here you are, Between the Lines. Hello, viewers around the world. My name is Mark Godwin Iweajua, and we are here on our Monday news update, Monday Between the Lines. Interestingly, I'm here in the studio, hoping my coordinators will also join from different parts of the world. But before they come in, it's good to have you around. It's good to start your new week with news updates. I mean, it's nothing more than getting updated before you set out into your activities for the week. So that's what we do here Between the Lines. Joining me Between the Lines is George Chukwu from Toronto, Canada. George, how are you? George, I need to hear your nice voice. That baritone voice you use is not coming up now. Anyway, viewers, Between the Lines, here we give attention-grabbing lines. We look into world events, and here you are today, Monday, the 23rd of September, 2023. George, if you can hear me, can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Yes, very good. Mark.
You are welcome. How are you, George? How are you?
Welcome, viewers from around the world, from Canada, and it is good to be here in Between the Lines.
Yes, it's good to be here, George. As we just set out, also our viewers Nook Up. You know, interestingly, we want to appreciate our viewers that have subscribed to our channels. Also, those watching us from different parts of the world, watching us from the TV station in France, watching us from the TV station in Italy. Thank you very much. Following up, building up what Nigerians in diaspora is trying to do. George, let's talk about the network. You know, it's a peculiar network. We've never had anything like this before. A network that caters to Nigerians outside Nigeria, and we come as one from different parts of the world, and we look into issues. You know, George, what do you think about this?
Well, it's a very unique concept, and one that is not very popular, where you have a news channel that is catering to the needs of the people. But the beauty of this is because we are represented around the world. We have people in Turkey, we have people in Russia, we have people in Nigeria, we have people in UK, we have you in Milan, we also have in Germany. So, and then I am here in North America. So this is really something that is very unique and very different, where each individual, based on where they are bringing their own reasoning into the news channel and telling people from their own perspective, so, and this is the beauty of it also. It's not controlled by any central government or being, maligned, or, they can't stop you from telling what you think about a situation. So that's the beauty of this concept. It's amazing, it's incredible, and that's why I'm here.
Wow, George, you just said some real cogent points there. Now, George, also added to what you just said, beautiful line. You know, there's something that happens, and that is that Nigerians outside Nigeria, like we've said many times, we're close to like 30 million, first of all. 30 million, that's the rough estimate. Now, we've never had a situation where we come together and look at things together like this, you know. Normally what we do, all of us outside Nigeria, is we just follow everything inside Nigeria, which is not bad. I mean, that's the home country. But you see, we need to bring, like you said, perspectives, different viewpoints from different parts of the world. And that's what we're doing here. George, this is
Look
good.
at that. Look at that, though. You know, you're talking about Nigeria. What is the population of Ghana? Just about 40 million. But you have, about Nigerians in diaspora is greater than many countries. Think about it for a moment.
Cape Verde, Senegal.
Nigerians in diaspora, there are more than many countries in Africa and even in the Caribbean. So when you are talking about Nigerians in diaspora, you're talking about a whole country that you can cater to. People in Russia, Pakistan, Ghana, all over the world. Anywhere you go to, you will see Nigerians there. And they are the ones that we are catering to, because we come from diverse backgrounds in Nigeria and we are in diverse backgrounds internationally. So that's why the beauty of In Between the Line is, because we bring our own perspective. I bring perspective because, from North America, which might be different from Europe, which might be different from Russia or any other part of the world. But we cater to this, and this is the beauty of who we are. It's amazing. It's really incredible.
It's amazing, George, and you're a major stakeholder in this. You're part of this from the onset. It's beautiful. Thank you for also the concept you have on this. George, let's go to the news now. Let's go to the news. A lot of things happening. Let's come to George. It's still raving there in Nigeria, but we have seen Edo State, the election, George. For months now, campaign intrigues, everything have been going around Edo State, and finally on Saturday, Edo State had his election, and it ran through to yesterday, Sunday, and even till this morning. George, like INEC has declared APC Monday, Okpobolo. I don't know how it says Okpobolo, the winner of that Edo State poll, and a lot of things are still brewing around that. A lot. First of all, the electoral umpire says it's APC. Monday won with like 291,000 votes. He defeated PDP. ASU, he got yes with 247, and Olumide Apata, the LP man, with 22,000. So George, tell me, how do you? We were talking yesterday and all that.
What we see is a continuation of the democracy in Nigeria. We have what you call democracy. But what we have is democracy in Nigeria, whereby money is the name of the game. So we saw quite a few number of people, videoing where APC was basically paying 15,000 naira, while PDP is paying 10,000 naira or 5,000 naira. So I guess the person with the deepest pocket is the one that won. And don't forget that the incumbent governor in Edo State is PDP. So he wasn't able to harness enough, to put his own candidate in power. Now, if you see what just happened with the Senate president of Nigeria, federal government in Edo State, and all the big wigs that came together with what do you call it again? The former governor of Ashimole, how do you pronounce his name again? The APC Adams Ashimole. So when you see most of them there, and then you also see the Oba of Benin not in good terms with the current governor. So you will see the power that be, how they were able to come together and was able to influence this democracy. Now, or democracy, that's what I call it. It's not democracy anymore, because what you see is, ask yourself, and every intelligent individual in Nigeria will ask themselves this one question. With the past 8 years of government of Buhari and the current 1 year plus of our current president, what attraction would APC have to win any election in Nigeria?
Okay.
Yours to discover. That is a question to every intelligent individual in Nigeria. If the democracy is correct and they come correct for breakfast, why would APC win the gubernatorial election in that particular state, Edo State, if there is no corruption? So this is what you're going to ask yourself. Do we have democracy in Nigeria? Because if you really look at the candidates in this particular election, the most aristocracy person is this APC man, who could not even pronounce his own name. Now he is not the Edo governor. So tell me, with all the money that they spent, including the Senate president and the rest of them that came there to do, and the worst part of this that really annoys me, if you are cheating, please cheat, but don't get God involved.
Don't get God involved. George, what we're seeing is George, there's reactions. Some Edo citizens came out early this morning, and they were protesting. They said their votes were not counted. So what you're seeing there in the screen is some number of people that came out and were screaming their votes were not counted.
So yes, what you see a lot of video, online where most of the votes were being burnt, being thrown away.
Yes.
Then also the original thing that happened in most of these polling booths, where they know that other parties will win, they would bring in the all the equipments that they need and the ballot papers there. So they delay them. You see a lot of outcry from people. And most of the worst part of this whole entire saga is that the 30,000 police force and other security agencies that they employed, more than 50,000, they were in their presence. Money was being shared. And then people are being sworn that if we pay you money, you go and vote. You come back and collect your money. So you see that the corruption has gotten so deep. And this is what part of weaponization of poverty, where people are selling their birthrights just for 15,000 naira, for 10,000 naira. It is so deplorable and so amazingly, I don't know how to describe this, but I tell you what, people are protesting. But the name of the game in Nigeria is manage your way to become the winner, and let the others go to court, because they are in control of the court too. So you call it democracy, that's yours to discover.
So George, it's terrible, but there are some reactions too, apart from people protesting. The LP, the former PDP chairman this afternoon also came out to say that INEC should review the elections very well before announcing. So that is PDP chairman Anthony Izagbemi. He said there are lots of discrepancies between figures on the forms, and that the forms doesn't tally. I actually noticed that, George, when we went direct to the IREF portal and we were looking at all those uploads. It's also very interesting to note that we saw handwritten digits. We thought the IREF and INEC would probably have digits done in such a way that, in a more computerized way. But what we saw was written digits. So anybody can write anything. And we checked through some of the votes, some of the count. But George, it doesn't tally. They will say 60 people voted PDP, 70, for example, voted this party, 80. Then the person will do the calculation and he will just put anything, 2,900 and something. George, this is crazy. I mean, I went to
I know you just said this. You just said it. It is crazy. That's why we call it democracy. It's no longer democracy. It's democracy. And that's exactly what it is. You see, this is a continuation of what happened with Asiwaju's election. Okay. Exactly the same thing that happened. And that is the reason why we are calling for reconstruction in Nigeria. We need to kind of come to, number one, INEC need to be dismantled and reinstituted. But the problem we have is the power that be that are gaining from this particular type of, kakistocracy. They don't want things to be done right, because if it's done right, then they will be out of the loop. So it is up to every single person in Nigeria to wake up and say enough is enough. If you want to give us democracy, let's operate fairly and equitably, all equal ground to operate. This is not democracy, it's democracy. That's how you see it happened in Imo State.
But George, on top of that,
happened in Abia State.
Yes. On top of that, we saw people, good citizens. Edo State has that exemplary action of coming out, doing the right thing, because they have this reverence for institution, for organization, for the monarch and all that. So that attribute, that character has rubbed on them. When it's election time, George, I must tell you, I observed this. When it's time for things like this, they do it. They are more than many other states in Nigeria. They come out, they follow up. Look at this, George. These are young men and women. It's raining heavily out there, and they're there with their umbrella and doing their civil responsibility. So we want to commend those efforts, even though, yes, there were all these vote buying, cash changing hands, handouts, and all that.
I tell you what, Edo State, my heart goes out to them. Edo State is the heart of Nigeria. Yes, I am telling you, I love these people. These people are not to be played with, but Nigeria is playing with them. And that is one thing that really hurts me so badly, because Edo people, if they were given a fair opportunity to choose who they want to govern over them, it will not be this way.
Who do you think they would have chosen? Who's your guess?
No. Okay. You see, let me tell you about Nigeria. You can have educated, enlightened people that have the proper plan to change the narratives in Nigeria. But what we have done is, simply because of the corruption in Nigeria, we have chosen the less and worst among the rest to be the one that will win. And they are not the heart of the people. Because let me tell you something. Not because Apata belongs to Labour Party. It doesn't matter to me. But I'm talking about when you come to education, representation, being enlightened enough to be able to, manage what is going on ground. And when you look at every single thing they have all presented, as much as you can say whatever you want with your mouth, or it could be written for you, but when it really comes to governance and the ability to govern effectively, you will choose from A class, not from D class. But this is what we do. We choose D class all the time. Yes, it's wrong.
George, let's we need her to give us also some updates. Let's bring in our diva from Lagos, Nigeria, BD Nana. BD, it's good to see you on a Monday night. Is it?
I'm just coming in. I just got in. Nah. Okay. Good evening, everyone. Our viewers, thanks for having us today again. George, good evening.
Good evening, my dear. How are you?
So, BD, yes, it's still the Edo election. We are making some reviews here. But there was something also, George. There's something that I liked that happened this afternoon. The governor Obaseki, Godwin Obaseki, governor of Edo State, the sitting governor, appealed for calm. He appealed for calm over the election. He said, yes, INEC has declared Monday Opobolo of APC the winner. But he said, please, everybody should be calm and let's see what follows suit. So that's a good one. BD, tell us, Edo election, how did you? I saw you were doing some journalistic activities on that. What was it? How was it like?
Edo election was what it should be. I'm actually surprised that a lot of people are getting surprised. Me, at once, I wasn't surprised. I've never been surprised. They didn't prove me wrong. I was actually sure that this was going to play out. We saw money politics played out there. You know, the problem is that the Edo people, do you understand, now have run to their captors. Nigeria is a situation where the captives is now running to its captors, and that's actually what happened in Edo. Because it is obvious APC was out to take Edo election. What happened in Edo election? The class of people that were in Edo election, the Senate president, many governors of APC, they were in Edo State, as if they were doing national election, just a state. They are bent in taking over Edo, and they've taken it. Do you understand? Now, in starting the election, they started late. Some polling units did not even cast their votes. They started late. Now, you and I know how election works by Nigerian constitution. After counting on each polling unit, the ward chairman, the ward, the party ward will sign for the paper, the election counted. They will sign, then uploaded and on IREV, which they did not do. They collected the one they said they collected. They left. And when some party, APC and Labour Party, get to the counting place, they deny them access. They did not allow them to enter. Do you understand? Now, if you follow this election, on Saturday, they were counting, they were rushing. There was speed in the counting how the result was coming in. And even the APC and Labour Party did not stop from telling them that, where are they getting these numbers? You know, the turnout for that election was very low. People did not come out. The turnout was very low. So they were now wondering, where are you people getting this number? At about past 2 or to 2, they stopped counting. They said they will come back by 5 p.m. Now, you ask yourself, why the stopping? Why the speed? And why stopping? You know why they stopped? Because Nigerians start complaining. You did not allow the ward members to do their duty. You did not give them access. Then they start counting that the numbers were too much, and they know that they were overdoing it. They now have to stop and go and do underground arrangements, and came back and did what they know how to do. I was not surprised. I was slightly disappointed by Edo people because, you know, I'm telling you in confidence, I'm not. On that Saturday, Oshomole shared over 1 billion naira in Edo State. Yes. You understand? Money was sharing. Now, the situation of Nigeria today, Nigerians are hungry, things are bad. Now, people sold. Now, one thing you should understand, if there was no seller, there will not be a buyer. There was a vote buying in Edo State. People were selling their votes to the level of 30,000 naira. And you know the situation of Nigeria. Imagine what 30,000 naira would do for a family. 30,000 naira is like a family budget for a week, a good family budget for a week. And somebody is ready to hand you over 30,000 naira to collect your vote. Edo people sold their votes. I know there was a manipulation. So,
thank you.
When you say APC have come to rubbish Nigeria. And I keep saying it, the best thing Nigeria should start doing is to start boycotting election, because we can't stop APC. the best thing is to start boycotting election, because this is not election.
Thank you, George. You want to
listen. It's just basically 30,000 naira is about 45% of the minimum wage, which is really the wage a lot of people are earning. So it's almost like you're going to cast your vote for, say, your birthright, for 45% of whatever. So, I mean, this is really, when we are talking about this, and this is why I love this, this channel, what we are doing here, in between the line or between the line. What we are doing here is where we can be able to bring our international perspective. Now, BD being in Nigeria has given us exactly what we wanted to hear. But coming from North American standpoint, I'm not saying that the election all over the world is perfect. But it's when you have up to 90 to 95% perfection, only a few percentage of mess up, then you can trust the system. But Nigeria is a place where, where democracy is not even something that we should be talking about, because number one, we have corrupted the system so much. Now we brought this technology that is supposed to help us, but we have also managed to bypass the efficiency of this particular technology that we have brought in Nigeria with our corrupt system. It is so sad. It is so bad. I know that when you go to the news channels, they're congratulating the governor-elect, but right here, we are saying it, the system is so corrupt. The system is so messed up. When you see all these governors all coming into Edo State with the Senate president, what does that really tell you about the democracy in Nigeria? What does that tell you?
Yes,
it's a state election.
Because they are party members. Our party supports party. Party members support themselves.
Logically, Max, let me tell you something. Can I say something? See, it's just that, like Sir George rightly said, what we are practicing in Nigeria is not democracy. In a real democratic system, campaign stops after election, and people, all these our leaders, they use a platform to emerge. Senate president is not supposed to project himself. He's the Senate president of all Nigeria, not APC alone.
That's right. Exactly.
I'm telling you, for a Senate president of Federal Republic of Nigeria to come and stay in Edo State.
Come on.
They have over 7 governors in Edo State. They have past senators, past rep, and sitting senators.
They really meant
just to Edo State, just to take over Edo State.
Okay, let's hear.
Let me just say this. Let me just say, another one that got me angry. I said, Edo people really sold out them. They sold out their good education, good health care, good life. They've sold it out. Oba of Minin, irrespective of the problem you have with your people, you should not be rejoicing for irregularities. Oba came out rejoicing for what? Irregularities? Even if you don't like Obaseki, you are not Oba. Do you know what you represent? Coming out to rejoice that APC won. APC did not win an election. They took it. And everyone knows.
The Oba is trying to be on everybody's side. Gentlemen, let's before we go on a short break, let's just hear from the man that won APC Monday about Ibagola.
Have you gotten any feedback from other polling units, other areas in Edo State so far so good this morning about their arrangements?
A couple of friends are calling me to say I'm getting a lot of votes from different places. So I'm not there. I'm here. Here I know that PDP or whatever will not get one vote here because this is my home and my people love me. So for that reason, I have nothing to fear in my home.
There were concerns about security generally. I know you've been in Benin for the last few days. You have also come here. What is your impression on security deployment for the election?
Yeah, I know that everything they are saying about security, this, that is hyping. I know nothing is happening. You can see. Nobody is fighting. No knockout even. No a stick of matches. So it's just for people to scare people away from voting. That, Obaseki is, I don't know. His wisdom, I don't know. He wanted to cause fire in Edo State. Invariably cause fire in Nigeria.
The man doesn't sound very eloquent. But
He doesn't sound
I think
confident, self.
the Edos have to put up with this for the
I'm
next
so
4 years.
I am so sorry. They just put a puppet they can control right there. And this is exactly what happened in the federal election. A puppet that they can be controlled internally and internationally. That is exactly what you're seeing here. And that's what you call the system of kakistocracy. Democracy, kakistocracy. This is it in Edo. I feel so sorry for them. I'm sorry.
Yes, that was the governor-elect that just spoke. I couldn't make out what he was trying to say, but he has spoken, and
that's the reason why he wouldn't come out. He would not come out. Excuse me, a massive mark. He would not come out to do any interview. The only interview he did was in pidgin English. I'm not saying advocating that English is better than Edo language, but you want to be able to communicate with everybody effectively and efficiently. When this man was not able to, come out, they advise him not to. The same way as Siwaju in Britain had to, when you ask him question, he will go to, one of his goons over there, most of them that are governing within in his cabinet now, to answer questions. No, Nigeria needs to come to the point where we demand efficiency and equality in everything that we do. So far, so now, it is not what we want. It is not good. And speaking from North American standard, I'm sorry.
Yeah, but some people will argue that English is not a mother tongue. And most people that speak English are not very. Leadership doesn't require speaking English. This is what they are saying in some. Not
the communication is very important. If I don't speak your language, I want to be able to understand you when you speak to me as a leader. Here in Canada, if you want to be,
I'm not judging him.
Hold on. In Canada, if you want to be a leader in Canada, you'll be able to be bilingual. You gotta speak French, you gotta speak English because of communication. In Nigeria, our national language is English. That's what everybody communicates with. And then if you're gonna have white people come or other international people to come, you have to be able to be eloquent enough to communicate efficiently and effectively. It is very, very important.
All right, BD, tell us.
See, I am not judging him for not being able to speak English, but I'm judging him for not being confident enough as a leader. If you watch that interview,
he's a puppet. I'm sorry.
For that one, he will grow in the process. It's a process. Nobody comes out to just
I know. Excuse me. I know he will grow. I know he will grow. But mind you, this man is a sitting senate.
Yeah, he's a senator
of Federal Republic of Nigeria. If a sitting senator of Federal Republic of Nigeria does not have the confidence, the boldness to articulate and coordinate his words,
okay, viewers, that's it. Edo State has done its election after all the months of campaign, the intrigues, all the activities. Yes, on Saturday, the 21st, they did it, and it lasts up to this morning. INEC has declared APC Monday Obapolo winner of the Edo governorship pool. Let's come back, gentlemen. Thank you.
Elevate your new week, fuel your success. SSM invites you to kickstart each weekday with our news update Between the Lines, featuring the week's top news and analysis and the most attention-grabbing lines, deciphering world events. Hook up to SSM Monday program Between the Lines.
Yes, Between the Lines, Monday, the 23rd of September, 2024. George, we've been talking a lot about the flood in Nigeria. Now, yesterday, the federal government brought out a memo telling Nigerians, BD, they say we should clear our canals, our drainage, our gutter, to stop what is about to happen. There's a big wave of water that will be poured out from the dams. George, you talk about those dams in Cameroon, the Lego Dam. So the instruction is, let's clear our gutters, our sewage, our drainage, and all these parts. George, what do you think? I think the forewarned, the forearmed.
That's right. And I think it's a good idea. You know, I remember coming to Nigeria during the days of EDO. And when I landed, I couldn't move on a Saturday because it was clean up Nigeria time. So I saw everybody out on the streets. They were clearing the gutters. People, Nigeria is such a beautiful people. Oh my goodness. When you saw active leadership and the participation from citizens, you know that all we need to be the shining stars of Africa and continue to reign as the giant of Africa is active, good leadership. What you're seeing today is corruption. The head is stinking as a dead fish, and everybody is affecting the whole entire nation. I am so sorry. But you know, I think it's a good move if they are able to harness it and to get people to come out on one day and clear everything, so that when this water comes, especially in those states that have been warned about what is about to take place, let them clear the gutters, let them clear everything. It will reduce the, maybe the water from, rising to a certain height where, where the drainages are now clear, where water can now go to the right places. So I hope it will work. But right now, as it stands, when this water is released, there is no telling what is going to happen in that nation, in those states.
In those states. BD, will that work?
Yeah.
The water level at the in our country is going to be very serious if we don't check things. Benue, River Niger, all those places. Sometimes there's that heavy rush, heavy flow, and this is why, for example, we see what we see in Maiduguri, Borno State. BD, what do you think? These clearing the canals.
Yeah, clearing the canal is necessary, but it's not going to stop the kind of flooding that's about coming. It's not going to stop it. Based on what we've seen on ground. Yeah, I was in Lagos in July. Yeah, that was July, yeah. The one I told people that I was at a place for 8 hours. That was inside in the mainland. I wasn't talking about on the island. I was in a traffic. We stopped for 8 hours. It was raining. Do you understand? And this place is just at Ikorodu Road going to Ojota, because that place was flooded. It was covering Jeep. So no car could pass. We were there for 8 hours. It was raining. The flood, even after the rain, we have to stay for the flood, for them to direct it, for it to go. So the problem in Nigeria is not just about clearing the gutter. I think Nigerian government needs to do more. Now, Nigerian government have even asked some people to relocate. Now, I'm asking, where are they relocating to? You guys know that the problem we have in Nigeria is that most of our ID camps are filled up. Have you heard about that? Now, they're asking some people in some flood-prone states to relocate. Where are they relocating to? And the thing is this, I think Nigerian government started this thing very late, because the problem that is coming, if you saw what happened in Maiduguri, if you saw what happened in Kogi, this is not about clearing gutter, but we need to clear our gutter. They have to do something bigger and better to take care of this. Clearing gutter is not the problem.
You know something. You're demanding people to pay their taxes, and they are paying their taxes. And when the money is given to the states to clear the gutters, to take care of all this infrastructure that needs maintenance, it is not being done, because the money is going into people's pockets. And then you're demanding citizens to come out when they have already paid for the taxes that are supposed to be taking care of these things, to come out and do it again. That's why you don't see a lot of participation. So, I mean, and this is just a cycle that we're going. Where Nigeria is like a blind horse. Nigeria is like a blind horse running around the mountain. There is motion, but there is no progress. That is one thing that is happening in our nation. And it is so sad and it is unacceptable. Can you imagine? Look at this now. Look at this picture, my people. Can you please look at this picture? Houses are submerged in water. And I want you to tell me, who will be the one to go and, buy furniture, buy clothes, new beds, new cooking utensils? These are things that people love so much that are being destroyed in this place. People will not be able to wear the clothes that are messed up with this rain when their houses are flooded. Most of their personal belongings will not be able to be recovered anymore because they have been in dirty water for so long. Their furniture will be gone. Their beds will be gone. When they come back, who will help them? Who will help them to recover their person? Because when we talk about children going back to school, these are things we don't even consider. Yeah, I mean, it shreds our heart to look at these things that are happening, and then the government is, mandating go and clean the gutters. What are we doing with the money? You're paying people to vote, spending billions of naira just that you can bring a aristocracy governor into a state, but you will not deploy that money to hire people to come and clean gutters, to clean the passageways where water will go. But you want to use it because you have weaponized poverty as a way to get people to be so susceptible to pennies and crumbs that are being given to them. It's a deplorable state that our country is in.
Viewers, this is it. That's the picture you see there is Maiduguri, north of Nigeria, and more of such might happen because the government is saying that the dams will be open. So what they are advising is for Nigerians to clear their canals, drainage, gutters, to mitigate flood, so flood can flow. So, but let's also adhere to those small advices and hope that it doesn't get out of control. Gentlemen, let's move on to some other story. Remember in February of this year, some students from the university in Zamfara, about I think those numbers were about 13 of them or so, 18 of them, and their teachers were adopted. They were kidnapped in an attack in early this year, February. Now, the good news we have this morning is that they've been freed. They regained their freedom after about 7 months in captivity, but we don't know if the ransom was paid. We don't know how they regained their freedom, but those are the students. They've come out of that very horrible situation. Gentlemen, BD, once again, we go to such stories and again and again. So anyway, they are out. The Zamfara students that were kidnapped in February have come out of captivity.
I want somebody to tell me something. Bidi, can somebody give me the number of police officers that were sent to Edo State and security forces and the army that was sent into this place? How many? Can somebody give me just an average number of the security forces, both the military, the police?
I like the question you asked.
Can somebody give me a number, please?
Yeah,
but we're talking.
I understand.
Listen,
No.
Hold tight.
Correct. I know what he
listen, gentlemen, you people need to let's have decorum. We are going through topics. George, you're a media man. You should do some of your own homework behind. When you come to tell people to give you, it makes you look like you're not what you say you are. Now, when we come out here, let's talk what we've come out to do. I've just talked about Zamfara, some students being released. Let's not go back to the topic of election and numbers. Get your number behind the curtain. If you don't have anything on that, then let's move on to other things. We have a situation also where about 6 people have died in Japan as a result of land flood and landslide. It's bringing the updates to you all.
Massive Mark, excuse me.
Yeah.
Excuse me, 1 second,
No,
1 second, please.
No, I don't want us to
No,
go
you
back.
have to pay attention to what we are doing here, because if these people were for 7 months, we are not able to be rescued. But you can have thousands of military people. No, hold tight. Go to a state for, and we cannot even control our states. What are you talking about? What are you really saying? You can put the forces to go.
Listen, these are two different topics, different things.
They are interconnected.
Number one is the police that goes for such activity, banditry, and are quite different from the ones that go out for election check. They're two different units, so you don't mix that up. These ones are these combative forces. Yes, you have forces. I'm the son of a soldier. You have the combative forces that go out for such activities in the forest or kidnappers. When you have these ones that handles domestic issues, official electoral issues, and all that. So don't mix things up and don't bring us back.
I'm mixing it up because they are interconnected.
Let's go on to George is okay. Let's go on to more. So there are stories here, topics here to address. If we linger on one, we might just be killing the other ones. Sri Lanka also has elected its new president, and I don't know, do you all have story on that? Sri Lanka, that beautiful part of the world, very beautiful. If you go there, you see nature at its best. Beautiful island. Sri Lanka. Now there's a new president, Anura Kamara. Kamara was sworn in today. He promises a beautiful, clean politics. He says he's going to take over the economy of the country, and he also talked about stabilizing the economic situation for his people. Does anybody have any story on that? The new PM for Sri Lanka, we had pictures of him early this morning where he was being sworn in by the judge and the nation's judicial system. So that's a young man there, Sri Lanka president, that has been sworn in this morning. So a new beginning for Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka has gone through a lot, but now we hope they will be able to rise up from the economic situation and live up to expectations. So that's Sri Lanka there. Viewers, you are still tuned to Between the Lines. Between the Lines, George, Trump says he will not run again if he loses his election. What do you have on that, George? Trump says he will not run again.
Well, maybe he's realizing that his end is come. I don't know. I mean, they can make all these statements that they make. Well, would he be able to accept the election if it doesn't go his way, or he will also do another January 6th is the question. So, I mean, he can make all the statements he wants to. America is America. So, and so hopefully, maybe, the MAGA movement have gone way on the other side, and so hopefully things will let the people's voice be heard and let their voice count. That's all I can say with that.
Let the people's voice be heard and let their vote count. So this means that he's probably seen that failure. Maybe he's not sure of himself again. He said he has done this twice and he won't do it again if he's defeated in 2028. So he's sending out a lot of message. Some people say, is he succumbing to failure, defeat?
He's not succumbing. He's not succumbing. He is not. The point is this, Americans are smart people. As much as they might be they must emotionalize their decision making sometimes based on what they think will benefit them, whether they are, traditional white Americans or foreigners that came in, but the point about it is, the times of the past where you can emotionalize, and the Republican Party is no longer a conservative party. You remember the Tea Party that came out at one point, hijacked everything and disappeared. That's what these Republicans are doing now. It is no longer a party where people can come out to express themselves. It's all about me, myself, and I. We are white people. We want to take our country back again. Who are you taking your country back from? Did you owe your country to somebody else? So who are you taking it back from? And why are you making America great again by a white man becoming the president? That is exactly what you're seeing there. So the people are alert to a lot of things that are happening. And my prayer is that the election will go the way of the voices and the choices and the volition of the people. That is all I can say.
Wow, that is a good one to say. Okay, so when we had the news, we were wondering what is Trump trying to do there, but you have put it right. Thank you very much. Moving on to crap it up, George. He's still our president, so we celebrate when they celebrate. We rejoice with them when it's time, because during the weekend, the wife of the president, Oluremi, was marked her 64th birthday, and the husband was pouring out some very wonderful words. He says about her love, her strength, the grace she carries, and all they've been through. So Oluremi, our president's wife, was 64 years. George, do you want to?
Yes, I want to wish her a happy birthday, First Lady. We love you, and we love your husband, by the way. Only that we want your husband to do well for us. And a happy birthday to you from from in between the lines. We love you. We love we love Asiwaju. I love Asiwaju. I love the man as a person. But what I'm against is the decisions that are being made that is negatively affecting the nation. And I hope, I wish them well, I wish them love, and I wish them longevity, that they will live long and live strong. Please, sir, with all due respect to your presidency, please make decisions that will affect us positively, so that we, the 30 million people in diaspora, will be proud to come back and join you, so that our people, our nation will flourish. Happy birthday, First Lady, and thank you, sir, for being our president. It doesn't matter how you got there, we still love you.
George, break the thing. It doesn't matter how he got there. He got there as a crook.
I don't know about all that. Now you dey talk, no be me, oh. No be me, oh. No be me to talk.
That's a very beautiful way to crap it up, George. No, but on the real, we want to say happy birthday to our First Lady Oluremi Tinubu Bola Tinubu on your 64th birthday. Wish you all the best. Hope you realize that sometimes nature, the earth, the life could put you in a position for some reason, for a time like that, to do something, So just being there and just carrying a tag, First Lady, is nothing. It is making an impact that makes the thing. So let's see more impactful things.
Yes, and I wish our president, I wish him long life and strength and wisdom from Almighty God. Because we love our country. We want one Nigeria. I don't want divided Nigeria. I want one nation, one Nigeria, but I want us to flourish together. This division, divide and conquer, is too much. So, sir, with all due respect, we say that we love you, but please listen to your wife, because she's a Christian too. She can bring another perspective in advice to you, so that you can actually govern us efficiently and effectively, so Nigeria can grow, and then our nation can be revived into what it used to be before. Thank you.
Wow. On this note, gentlemen, we want to call it quit. Thank you, George. This is beautiful. Effectively asking the government to do the right thing. This is it, George. George, we've talked about a lot. We went through with what's happening in Edo State now, the new government. We went through with the flood and what the government wants people to do to help ease the flood that might be rolling down soon. And also, we talked about the Zamfara students that have been released. We want to say thank you to those that were able to make that release. George, thank you also for coming. What do you have to say before we go?
before we go, I just want to use this opportunity to appeal to the government.
Okay,
That the number of military men and the police officers that were put in Edo State to ensure that the election goes well can actually be dispersed into some of these vital states where agriculture has stopped because of infiltration of these bandits. Let's put them in the right places because they're getting paid for being in the military. Let's bring out some of these people that are being employed by individuals and put them in the vital places in this state so that people can go back to their farms and farm so that Nigeria can survive. Food insecurity is one major problem that is happening in our nation. And all these officers are being paid individually and they're being brought together to a nation like Edo. We can release them to these states so that the people can go back to their farms and farm, so that Nigeria can feed. Let the poor breathe in our country, please. This is our plea to the government, the federal government of Nigeria. Thank you.
The poor breathe. Let the poor breathe. Let the poor breathe 3 times. Thank you, George. So, viewers, we've come. This is it. Between the Lines, the 23rd of September, 2024. George and myself, BD went off, but we've pulled it through. Until we come again next time, have a beautiful week. Edo people, we say, let peace, let there be peace. Whoever is your governor, well, that is how it has come to. So we just accept some things and keep moving on. There are still more years ahead. And
actually, when you talk about INEC, independent. They're no longer independent. INEC is no longer, independent. It's government. We're going to change the I to G because that's exactly what is happening. Yes.
That's exactly what is happening. All right, George.
GNEC.
Is what it is. GNEC. No more INEC. All right, George.
No more INEC.
Elevate your new week, fuel your success. SSM invites you to kickstart each weekday with our news update Between the Lines, featuring the week's top news and analysis and the most attention-grabbing lines, deciphering world events. Hook up to SSM Monday program Between the Lines.